What's up guys, my name is Ace, and with the Season 4 Reloaded update in Warzone, we saw the largest weapon balancing update I think we've ever seen in Warzone. They reworked most of the guns in the game, and therefore all of that is way too much to cover in a single video, so I'm going to break it up into sections, and in today's video, we're going to be covering all of the assault rifle changes in great detail. Now just a heads up, if you guys want to check out all of the individual number changes for yourself, I will leave a link in the description down below for my spreadsheet, which has been updated at least for SMGs and assault rifles so far. Because in order to make sure this video doesn't get way too long, I'm going to have to kind of fly through the stats for the individual guns. Also, feel free to pause the video if I'm going a bit too fast for you. So let's dive right into it and start it off with the Cold War AK-47. Previously, this was a 6 to 7 shot kill against a fully plated enemy. Keeping in mind, for all of my values here, this assumes a fully plated enemy, and that meant it had a 500 to 600 millisecond time to kill. Post-patch, it's now going to take you one extra shot to kill, both up close as well as at range, and therefore it increases our time to kill potential by 100 milliseconds at all ranges. Additionally, with this update, there's no more upper torso multiplier, and this means this time to kill value applies anywhere in the body. You don't have to be precise and hit those upper torso shots anymore. So while yes, it is nerfed, it's also going to be a little bit more forgiving with the new time to kill values in mind. As for the Modern Warfare version of the AK, they did the exact same thing here essentially. They made it go from a 6 to 7 shot kill up to a 7 to 8 shot kill, and this increased our time to kill by around 110 milliseconds. And while they didn't completely eliminate the upper torso multiplier with this like they did with the Cold War version, they did make it a little bit more forgiving with upper torso shots, so you don't have to hit as many to reach your new time to kill potential compared to how it was previously. But after that, let's get into the C58, and we see the exact same trend here. Previously, we had a 6 to 7 shot kill potential. It's now a 7 to 8 shot kill potential. So again, this increases our time to kill potential by a little over 100 milliseconds. Additionally, they increased our range value just slightly, just by a couple meters on this. It's hardly going to be noticeable. It went from 24 meters up to 26. And an important thing to note with this is we no longer have torso or upper torso multipliers on this, so just like with the Cold War AK, you can shoot them anywhere in the body and you'll get this new time to kill potential. So while it has been nerfed, it is more forgiving to reach those nerfed values. Additionally, with the C58, they did noticeably increase the recoil, and you can see there's just more vertical magnitude to the recoil for sure here. And therefore, it is going to be a little bit less accurate and harder to control. However, I did want to point out, we still get a massive recoil reduction if you're using the 4X optic on the C58, and only the C58 so far as I've seen. This doesn't apply to the other guns. So while we can't get quite as accurate as we used to be, we can still be very, very accurate while using the 4X optic on this gun. Next up, we've got the CR56A Max, and this one got yet another nerf. And this one went from a 7 to 8 shot kill to an 8 to 9 shot kill. So again, they just added an extra shot to kill to this gun, and that gives it a fairly slow time to kill potential. However, they did also slightly buff the headshot multiplier from 1.5 up to 1.55, and they eliminated the need for torso shots. So again, while they did hurt this gun's potential, it is going to be much more forgiving than it was, and if you were missing your upper torso shots previously, it's going to behave basically the same as it does now, where you can shoot them anywhere in the body and get that 8 to 9 shot kill. It's also worth noting that with this new headshot multiplier, we only need one single headshot mixed in with body shots at any range in order to reduce the number of shots to kill, so we can get back down to those previous time to kill values as long as we hit a headshot mixed in. But moving on to the next one, the FAL got a slight nerf, and effectively what they did here is they made it so at longer ranges it's now going to take you 6 shots to kill to the upper torso, whereas previously you could maintain a 5-shot kill at all ranges as long as you hit the upper torso. And on top of that, they very noticeably hurt its headshot multiplier from 2.05 down to 1.55. So essentially, up close, the only difference here is you now need 2 headshots mixed in with body shots in order to help, compared to 1. It still takes the same number of upper torso shots to kill up close, and then at a distance, it's going to take us an extra shot to kill. However, if we're hitting upper torso shots, we can still get a 5-shot kill if we mix just 1 headshot in with our upper torso shots. After that, we've got the FFAR 83, and what they did with this is they just slightly changed its maximum damage profile. And it turns out this has no impact on the number of shots it takes to kill to the body. It's still going to be a 9 to 10 shot kill depending on the range. However, now it's going to take us 2 headshots up close to reduce the number of shots to kill down to 8, whereas previously we only had to mix 1 single headshot in there. So that's really the only difference to the damage here. This was hardly a nerf to the FFAR 83. It's still a very, very good gun. I would still consider this to be top tier. However, they also touched its recoil a little bit, so let's have a look at that. But as we can see here, similar to the C58, we can see definitely some more vertical recoil on this. It does kick upward a little bit faster, and it has a higher magnitude. But overall, when you're adding your recoil control attachments and stuff, you're still going to be able to control this gun just fine at longer ranges. And therefore, overall, the FFAR 83 is still almost as powerful as it was pre-patch. But now let's move on to the FFAR, and with this one, it went from a 10 to 10 shot kill to a 10 to 11 shot kill. So we now drop off to an 11 shot kill at longer ranges. Additionally, our range value was reduced from 31 meters down to 25 meters. And even though it still takes the same number of shots to kill to the body up close, it still takes 10 shots to kill. Previously, if we mixed just one headshot in with body shots, we could reduce that down to a 9-shot kill. Now we have to mix 3 headshots in order to get that 9-shot kill up close. So not a massive nerf to the FFAR, it still has a great time to kill potential up close for an assault rifle, but it was a noticeable nerf. As for the next one, this is the Grau 556, and with this, it went from a 9 to 12 shot kill down to a 9 to 11 shot kill, so this one actually got a buff at longer ranges, and that decreases our time to kill value down to 830 milliseconds at long range, which is now at least a little bit more competitive at longer ranges against the other assault rifles. And on top of this, in those longer ranges, it only requires 1 headshot mixed in with body shots, which is really easy with the Grau since this is so accurate. We only need 1 headshot mixed in with body shots to reduce that down to a 10-shot kill, which gives us a long-range time to kill value of 747 milliseconds, which is not bad at all. So if you guys haven't used the Grau for a long-range gun in a really long time, I'd recommend giving it another shot after this update just to see what you think of it. You may end up really liking it again. Next up, we've got the Groza, and for this one, they only nerfed it at close ranges. It's still exactly the same at longer ranges, but at close range, it went from an 8-shot kill up to a 9-shot kill, which does noticeably increase our time to kill at close ranges. However, it is worth noting if we just mix 1 single headshot in with those body shots up close, we can get back down to an 8-shot kill. Then let's get into one of the few weapons that just got straight up buffs to it. This was the Krig 6. And with this, it's still going to take exactly the same number of shots to kill, 8 shots up close, 9 shots at a distance. However, now we only need to hit 6 out of our 9 shots to the torso at longer ranges in order to get that 9-shot kill, whereas previously it was really unforgiving. If we mixed even just 1 limb shot in, it was going to take us 10 shots to kill. So therefore, it just wasn't really all that consistent at longer ranges, and now it's going to be much more consistent. It's fairly easy to hit 6 out of 9 shots to the torso, even at long range. It's just really hard to hit 9 out of 9. Additionally, at longer ranges, it's now only going to take us 2 headshots mixed in with body shots to reduce the number of shots to kill, whereas previously it would require 3 headshots mixed in. So this gun is still exactly the same up close, but at range, it's just generally going to feel more consistent for you. As for the next one, we've got the M4A1, which actually got a little bit of a nerf, but also a little bit of a buff at the same time. So previously, this was a 9 to 12 shot kill to the body. Now it's going to be a 10 to 11 shot kill. So it's not going to be quite as good up close. It's going to take you an extra shot, but then at longer ranges, it's going to take 1 less shot to kill. So it got buffed at range, but nerfed up close. And it's also worth noting that we only have to hit 1 headshot up close to get a 9-shot kill, which is what we previously would get just with regular body shots. So we can still get that 600 millisecond time to kill potential pretty consistently as long as we mix in that single headshot. So in all, I would actually consider this to be a net buff to the M4A1. But then we have another gun that got just straight up buffs to it. This was the M13, and with this, it went from an 11 to 14 shot kill. Yes, you heard that right. It takes a ton of shots to kill with this, but it also has an insane fire rate and it's very accurate. But that was what it was previously. Now it's quote unquote only going to take you 13 shots to kill at long ranges instead of 14, which does cut down on our time to kill potential fairly noticeably here. And I think this is great. The M13, even though it didn't have the most standout time to kill potential, just the fact that it had such a fast fire rate and it was so accurate, it still made it a very solid and usable gun in Warzone, and now it's going to be even more usable. So definitely check out the M13 if you haven't lately, because I'm sure it's going to feel quite good just looking at the changes on paper. As for the next assault rifle that was changed, this is the Odin, and unfortunately we got a little bit of a nerf to the Odin, but it wasn't a massive nerf. Pre-patch, it was a 5 to 6 shot kill to the upper torso, and post-patch, nothing changed there. It's still a 5 to 6 shot kill. However, what did change when they adjusted their damage values a bit is the number of upper torso shots you're going to need to get a kill. Previously, up close, we only needed 1 out of our 5 shots to hit the upper torso. Now, 2 of our 5 shots have to hit the upper torso. And then at longer ranges, previously 4 out of 6 shots had to hit the upper torso, and now it's 5 out of 6. So really, the potential of this gun is still exactly the same as it was previously. It still has a great time to kill potential if you're hitting your shots. You just have to be slightly more precise with those upper torso shots. But now let's move on to what I consider to be one of the standouts with this update, at least in the assault rifle category, and this is the QBZ-83. With this one, we got a pretty noticeable buff to our damages. Previously, it was a 9 to 11 shot kill. Now it's an 8 to 9 shot kill. So that's awesome to see. Not only does it kill noticeably faster up close, it kills a lot faster at longer ranges. And while further testing is still needed, this may end up becoming one of the long-range meta assault rifles in Warzone after this update. Now, unfortunately, these buffs did come with a couple nerfs, and these were to our base movement speed. We lost 3% to this, as well as our aim down sight movement speed. This was reduced by 5%. And this is just to better equalize the QBZ with the other Cold War assault rifles, because previously, that was the big upside to using the QBZ, is it had better movement speeds over assault rifles, but it still didn't make sense to use it because its time to kill didn't compete up close or at range. It was just kind of a useless gun. Now, we aren't going to have that same sort of mobility. However, we do have a very solid time to kill potential for a gun that's as accurate as the QBZ. So like I said, this one's a pretty big standout, and I highly encourage you to give this one a go. But after that one, the Ram 7 did get a nerf up close. Previously, it was a 9 to 11 shot kill. Now it's going to be 10 to 11 shots to kill. So this one is fairly noticeable. I think the Ram 7 is still going to be a solid gun, but this is a very noticeable nerf to this up close. Then we've got the CR17, and this one saw a pretty standard nerf for this update. It went from being a 6 to 7 shot kill up to a 7 to 8 shot kill, so it is going to take that one extra bullet to kill at all ranges. However, as long as we're mixing at least one headshot in, no matter what the range is, we can still get back to that 6 to 7 shot kill. So the potential is still there with the CR17. It just now requires you to mix a single headshot in there. It's also worth noting that there's a bit less reliance on upper torso shots with the CR17 after this update. Previously, we did have to hit most of our shots to the upper torso to get that time to kill potential, and now we really only have to mix a couple in there. Now, finally, we have one last assault rifle to cover here, and this is the XM4. And with this one, no surprise here, it's going to take us one extra shot to kill up close as well as at longer ranges, which does noticeably increase our time to kill potential, although it still does have pretty decent time to kill values here. And it's also worth noting, just like with the CR17, it only requires one single headshot mixed in with body shots at any range to reduce the number of shots to kill back to where it was previously at 8 to 9 shots. So it's still going to be a really solid gun. However, they did one other thing to the XM4, and this was a very slight nerf to recoil. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my pre-patch testing with the XM4, at least recent pre-patch testing with this, so I didn't have anything to compare it to for before footage, but I can show you what it looks like after the update at least. From what I remember, this actually appears to be pretty much the same. They just added a little bit more vertical magnitude to it, so it's going to require a bit of extra recoil control, but overall, the XM4 is still going to be a pretty solid gun after this update. So that finally wraps it up for all of the assault rifle changes with this Season 4 Reloaded update. In the background, I'll just show you guys still images of my spreadsheet, which again, I will leave a link down below if you want to check this out for yourself, but this is sorted by our 3-plate time to kill from top to bottom. And after looking at all of these changes, the guns that are now starting to stand out for me, at least in the assault rifle category, for close ranges are going to be the AS Val, of course. Nothing changed with that. It's still a melt machine up close, but it does have its limitations and it's not very versatile. Also, the FFAR is starting to look kind of decent again. It's not bad now that they've nerfed a lot of the other assault rifles in the time to kill department, whereas it didn't get nerfed at all up close in time to kill. And then also the Cold War AK-47. This is still looking very solid. As for longer range builds, the guns that I feel are a bit more standout from this update are going to be still the FFAR 83. Like I said, this is still going to be a top tier long range gun in my opinion, even after the nerfs. The QBZ 83, this is likely going to start to come out to play a little bit, and I'd recommend giving it a go because I think it's going to be much better than it used to be at longer ranges. And I also think we'll be seeing the Krig 6 come out to play a little bit as well. I don't know if it's going to be like top tier meta, but it is noticeably better, especially at range. And therefore, we may see that used a bit more often. And then finally, just wanted to give an honorable mention to the M13. While it still doesn't stand out in the time to kill department, it's pretty low on the list when it comes to time to kill. Like I said earlier, it's not all about time to kill with this gun, and I'm definitely going to be bringing it back out to play. It used to be one of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to getting back into using the M13 more often. But with that, that's finally going to wrap it up for all of the assault rifle changes that happened with the Season 4 Reloaded update. Of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, first up, what do you think about this overall update where they're trying to slow the general time to kill down in-game? Do you think this is good for the gameplay health by having more time to react, or do you not like that? And then also, at least so far, what is your favorite assault rifle after this update? Has it changed at all, or is it the same thing you were using before the update? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.